Speaking of the Cowboys, and sort of indirectly we were, their executive vice president, Stephen Jones, is down at the Senior Bowl, and he spoke to the media yesterday about the state of his team's roster, and he had interesting things to say.
We want continuity, but we also want change. And obviously what we've done, hadn't gotten the job done. We accept that. We accept that our fans can have frustration that we hadn't gotten that job done. And you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect something to change. So we need to change, but at the same time, we've got a lot of things right.
Okay, so, I don't know what he just said. That was just a bunch of words. He just said we need to do things the same, but we need to do them differently, and we've been doing them right, but we've been doing them wrong. So I'm not 100% sure what we just all listened to. All of that said, you made a pretty interesting statement. It has been very fashionable to dump on the Cowboys this week since the hiring of Brian Schottenheimer and all the rest of that. You made a very interesting observation in our meeting this morning about exactly where this roster actually is.
This is not a rebuild, Greeny. If the four of us were running an NFL team and we said we had a really good quarterback, now we could debate, is he 6 or 10? Dak Prescott's a really good quarterback. We have an elite difference-making wide receiver who's a point scorer in CeeDee Lamb. And arguably, we have the best pass rusher in all of football. We would be off to a heck of a start building a team that should have sustainable success, which is objectively they've done in the regular season over the last several years. So they have to make changes. And we know, Greeny, that this is historically great at running back in this year's draft. Amongst other needs they have is the running back position. So my point is, lots of work to be done, but in terms of the hard parts of building a team, they are in place.
You agree with that, Bartholomew, or not? You look skeptical.
Well, because I'm writing down, you say the quarterback, and you got a receiver.
Wide receiver.
I named 5 people. Last I checked, it takes 22 to win football games and put out there. You need depth, especially, with the 17-game season. And what I would say is, that's good, but I think they're closer to a rebuild than they are a reload, right? When you consider the fact that the two teams in this division are better. If we all were sitting here picking, where we would think the Dallas Cowboys would be next year, we would probably say third in the division, right? Because you believe that we're talking about a team in their division that's going to be playing for the Super Bowl, that has a lot of young talent, that's ran correctly. And, when you listen to Steven saying that, it's time to do something different, I love Shotty, but that's a common type of hire, right? Somebody that's a first-time head coach, somebody that's, not going to challenge Jerry Jones. I think that's kind of doing the same thing and expecting a different result. This is the worst that the Washington Commanders are ever going to be. They got a pocket full of money. They got a lot of young talent, and they have the ability, because of the young talent, the young quarterback, that guys are going to take discounts because they feel like they can win a championship with this guy. So they're going to get a rush of free agency of guys coming there simply because the quarterback is so special. So yes, Dak Prescott is, 1 or 6 or 10 or whatever. But you could argue that the two other guys in this division might be above him.
Yeah, you could. I think what you're hearing with the Cowboys, what Stephen Jones is saying, look, we won 12 games 3 years in a row. You put yourself in a position to contend. At some point, it's going to go your way. Whether that turns out to be true or not is up for debate. But this year, they didn't. Over the previous years, over most of what preceded this year, the Cowboys were very good at building rosters that did have depth. Right? You could suffer an injury at cornerback or at left tackle and still play at a high level because they had guys that could fill in. This year, that didn't happen. And I think they're assessing, did we miss on some draft picks? Do we need to do something differently than we've done in recent years because some more holes have shown up on our roster than we realized were there? There's a happy medium between doing absolutely nothing in free agency and going, crazy in free agency, and they need to find somewhere along that spectrum to land, because last year they didn't do anything, and again, they had more holes to fill than they thought.
So what you're saying is they need to be a little bit the same and a little bit different.
Exactly, but I think
so. Maybe he was right.
We tend to know what we're doing. This past year, we kind of got hit in the face with, all right, well, maybe you didn't have as good a team as you thought you had or you usually had.
Real quick.
Yeah, Greeny, after next Sunday, next 4 months is going to be these 10 teams need a quarterback, and one of those teams isn't Dallas, and that's a massive head start.
That's probably fair. Okay.
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just want to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.